Ladies and gentlemen, Christmas time is here, and we got a football game to play. Primetime game on the holidays for the Colts. I mean, what better ways to go out with a W, especially on an eventful night? A Christmas gift, the best gift ever would be for the Colts to get a W against the Arizona Cardinals. But what it do, YouTube? It's your boy ColtsTalk. We are back with another video. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. A lot of content on this channel: dancing, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts type stuff, live streams, game streams. So you guys tune in for all of that good content. Appreciate each and every one of you that are subscribing and is pretty much doing that on an everyday basis. Much love to you guys. Like I said, when we hit milestones, I do giveaways. So once we hit like 5K or something like that of that nature, I'm definitely doing a jersey giveaway, like a Darius Leonard or a Jonathan Taylor. I'll let you guys decide that at 5K. But when we do hit maybe 3.5 or 4K, I will do like a gift card giveaway for everyone that has supported so far. So you guys stay tuned in for that. But let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals, right? So the Arizona Cardinals is one of those teams that at the season beginning, I said would be a very good team because of what they had on paper. Especially them getting that talent out the draft. They really had a really good draft. This offseason was so good, but they have had some hiccups. They have had some hiccups, and one of the biggest question marks circling the Arizona Cardinals, the biggest question mark is Cliff Kingsbury, their head coach. Can he control this team with the loaded roster? This roster is freaking loaded. Off season, they went and got DeAndre Hopkins. They got J.J. Watt. They still had Chandler Jones returning, who's having himself a stellar season. They still got Simmons. How the heck are they going to use this guy? They got rid of Pat Pete. Old news, washed. But overall, they had a very solid draft. They got a guy that I wanted on the Indianapolis Colts, which is Rondale Moore, which is a freaking beast at wide receiver. They got him. And they got freaking Kyler Murray, who's had himself at the beginning of the year was an incredible start. Incredible. Some people had him at MVP votes. Unfortunately, he went down with injury. And we'll talk about the schedule, but before all of these things happened, they were looking really good. They were looking good. They got a few missing links. I mean, James Conner came to Arizona, and he's averaging like a touchdown per game. Fantasy god. James Conner is a fantasy legend. Fantasy owners love this guy because he goes out there and gives them points wherever game he plays. He's freaking averaging like one-handed catches per game, and something of that nature. But like I said, they've been battle tested. J.J. Watt linked up with DeAndre Hopkins. They both used to play for Houston. Colts fans know about them personally. But both of those guys has been banged up. They've both been banged up. A.J. Green's out there selling cheese. He looked like he don't want to play football. It's like Kyler's pretty much out there alone. That's what it looks like. But they got a dog in Budda Baker at safety. One of the best safeties in the league, hands down. Budda Baker is a freaking animal. And Byron Murphy at corner. He's pretty solid. But overall, it feels like they just can't seem to pull it out. Overall, the Cardinals are 10-4. They were on a winning streak at first, but they are currently on a two-game losing streak. Looking at this schedule, start from the beginning, they played the Tennessee Titans and wound up whopping them. The score was 38-13, and yes, this was with Derrick Henry. The Cardinals pretty much walked through that game. Derrick Henry he had 17 carries and 58 yards. So for those people that talk about how the Cardinals pretty much stink on the run, they shut down Derrick Henry at the beginning of the season. If that means anything to you guys, feel free to let me know. If not, I totally understand. But hey, it is what it is. You got to take the little with the little, the little with the lot. So I mean, they shut down Derrick Henry at the beginning of the year. They played the Vikings. They won that game. They went 2-0, 33-34. A shootout with Minnesota. I don't know. That's pretty sketchy in my opinion. They played Jacksonville, shut them out. They went 3-0, 31-19. They played the Rams. They beat them 37-20. That's the team that the Colts lost to before Odell. And then they played the 49ers. They went 4-0. Looks like. Yes, they played the 49ers, went 17-10. Played the Browns. They smacked them 5-0. They played the Texans. That's 5-31. They blew them out. They played the Browns. That was 37-14, by the way. They played the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Colts are formidable opponents of the Green Bay Packers. We played them last year when Aaron Rodgers had the MVP season. We wound up beating them. But the Packers snuck away with that game, 24-21. It was a close one. I give the Cardinals a benefit of the doubt. They played some good football. But that was the game that A.J. Green pretty much did not want to catch the game-winning touchdown. Unfortunate circumstances. Goes down and played the 49ers again. Pretty much beat them 31-17. Played the Panthers. Lost to them. That was the highlight of the year. Cam Newton's return game. Talking about I'm back. I'm back. Granted, Cam Newton is kind of struggling right now in Carolina. So it looks like the Cardinals lost that game because they didn't really have film on Cam Newton, even though they knew what he could do. But, nobody's really expecting that, especially after that stint he had in New England. So I would give the Cardinals the benefit of the doubt of losing that game. They got smacked 34-10. The Cardinals played the Seahawks, a team that the Colts lost to as well. 23-13, the Cardinals won. They played the Bears. The Colts know them very well. Julian Blackmon had himself a game, that guy, against the Bears. The Cardinals won 33-22. The Rams played the Cardinals again, and the Rams got the final laugh on that one, 30-23. Pressure was all over the place. The Cardinals just played the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions won 30-12. And then they played the Indianapolis Colts on Christmas. Then they played the Cowboys, and then the Seahawks. So when you look at this game, they haven't really played any teams with a high threat at running back. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, of course, they played Derrick Henry. Oh, they shut him down. Dalvin Cook. Oh, they almost won that. They almost lost that game. But they haven't really played a threat like Jonathan Taylor and the mindset of the Colts when it comes to an AFC team. It looked like they had problems with AFC teams this year as well. So it's going to be a really good question mark going into this game because you cannot just singly count out the Cardinals. You can't just count them out because if you do, they can beat you. It's one of those teams because they have the talent. They just got to go out there and win the football game. It's just simple as that. They got to go out there and act like they want to win. I mean, the Colts are on a hot streak right now. They just beat the Patriots. They beat the Bills. They swept that division, actually. And the Colts are looking good right now. They know what's at stake. So they're out there playing dedicated football right now. And that's one thing you want to see from the Colts. So when you look at the Cardinals, yeah, they lack talent right now due to injuries and stuff like that. But they are still deadly. Still deadly. I will not take this team for granted. I will not. Now, if you ask me, who you got winning? Of course I'm going to choose the Colts. What type of question is that? But you cannot count out the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, the head coach is a little sus, but the Kyler Murray threat is still there. The edge rush for the Colts is getting better, but it's not perfect. So Kyler Murray could run the football. Rondale Moore can single-handedly torch us. They got a guy in Zach Ertz that some Colts fans wanted that is actually a pretty decent threat that can have himself a nice game against us because we know the Colts leave the tight ends kind of open. The only thing I will say is if Corey Willis is shadowing Zach Ertz like he was last week against Hunter Henry, if he does anything like that, I feel like we'll have a very solid game. But the Cardinals cannot be counted out. Like I said, they have a talented roster. It's going to be a good show for sure, but some people I would like to circle in on is Kyler Murray, of course, James Conner, if he's going to be any type of receiving back against us, and Zach Ertz on the offensive side. Rondale Moore is the huge circle because he can literally carve us going across the middle. He's very fast and very talented, and he's young, so I feel like he can have himself a good game. But I would not count out the Colts because the Colts are on a hot streak. But those are players I will circle. And then on the defensive side, the pass coverage for the Cardinals is very good. And we have to do something about that edge rush because I feel like they can have a good game against the edge if they target Eric Fisher. But we should not try to force the pass against their secondary because they will make us pay. They will make us pay if we try to force the pass against the secondary. Just take the momentum from Jonathan Taylor and use that against the Cardinals. And I feel like we had ourselves a good game. But we'll have more about this preview later on in the week. I just wanted to give the inside scoop about the Arizona Cardinals before we go into this preview. Is that the Cardinals is dangerous. So just because they're on a losing streak and they lost to the Detroit Lions does not mean that they're going to go and get probably smacked by the Colts. It's any given Sunday. Everybody changes up their game plans from week to week against certain teams, especially if you're contending in the playoffs like the Arizona Cardinals. So don't take them lightly, Colts fans. Just take this as another key game that the Colts needs to win. But you guys let me know in the comment section all these things about the Cardinals and about the Colts and how do you feel going into this game. And we'll have the preview later on this week. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.